Hi, this is a quick tutorial on how to set up TwinMotion and start building your own video game level. What I've done is launched Epic Games, and I'm going to click on this tab that says Unreal Engine, and then at the top I'm going to choose TwinMotion. TwinMotion, we use the Community Edition, so you always want to check that one, and you'll know you've got the right one if you see this picture of the hotel lobby. Then go ahead and click Launch. Once TwinMotion launches, you'll see your basic screen here, and it's usually going to look like a giant desert area. I'm going to see if I can start a new scene here just by clicking New Scene in the top corner, and it will launch a new project for me. And here we are in our infinite virtual space. Along the top are all of your controls for how to move around in this world using your mouse. So left mouse button lets you orbit like you're kind of a drone camera flying around. Middle wheel, if you hold down on it, lets you go side to side and up and down. And right mouse button lets you look around like you're using your head of the character that you're inhabiting. You're going to move forward, backwards, and left, right using W, A, S, and D, and then up and down using Q to go up in the air and E to come down. You can also control the speed of these movements using the number pad over on the right side of your keyboard. You can speed it up or slow it down using those keys there. Okay, so let's start building out our world. First thing I want to do is I'm going to delete all of the objects that are here. So I'm just going to click on each one and hit the delete key to get a basic world here. Let me lift up in the air and I'll tilt down. And then over on the left-hand side are my library, and we're going to start putting in objects into our scene. We're going to start with the vegetation, go to landscapes, and then choose either the flat or the rocky grasslands landscape. Drag and drop one in, and now you've got your world populated with some grass and some geological features. So we'll go back to vegetation, and next up we're going to add some trees, bushes, grass, and rocks. So I'm going to go to trees, and you can drag and drop trees one at a time if you'd like. You just bring it over, drop it in, and you can kind of get a sense for how big some of these are. But an easier way to quickly paint in trees is to go here to the bottom where it says populate and choose foliage and paint. And when you have the paint option, you can drag trees into this box. So let's just create an assortment of 4 or 5 different trees here. I'm just going to drag as many as I want into here. And now I have a giant paintbrush that anywhere I click and drag, it's going to randomly scatter those trees out. So you can build a bigger forest using an assortment of trees that you choose. You can also make the diameter of this brush bigger if you want to fill in larger areas. Just keep in mind that the more trees you add, of course, it's going to slow down the computer a little bit. Okay, let's go back to vegetation. Next up, we're going to add some grass. So I'm going to use this the same way. I'll choose the type of grass that I want, and I can drag it over here into that paintbrush. And now as I brush, not only will I get trees, but I'll also get some grass sprouting up in the different areas. And if I go down to ground level here, you can see the effect of that. Looks pretty cool. All right, next up, let's go back to library, vegetation, and rocks. And rocks are really the first type of object we're going to add to this. I'll drag a boulder in and drop it. And a rock, like any other object in TwinMotion, can be manipulated using these controls up at the top. So I can move it by grabbing onto this red handle. I'm moving it in the red direction, green direction, or blue direction. I can rotate it by grabbing one of these arcs and twisting, okay, either side to side or up or down. Or I can scale it by taking the scale tool, grabbing the middle rectangle there, or middle cube, and this will scale the whole thing up in the same direction. Or if you want to just stretch a rock out, you can pull it in red, green, or blue direction. It's kind of a good idea to just take multiple rocks and start building in a little bit more of a conglomeration here, scale them up, make yourself a little rock feature that you can fit. Now, the rest of this, if we go back to our library, we can see that there are other objects you can add. And If you're going to start building out a world in here, you're probably going to need some things from the Megascans category. Megascans are fully created 3D models, so they have 3D assets in here that we can pull up, and you can choose by the style of game level that you want to make. For example, if I want to build a historical level, I can go in here to the, let's say, the Roman Empire category, and I can grab from the floor category, there's our path. And most of these Megascan objects, before you can use them, you have to download them. So just click that little button in the top corner. This is now added to my library, and I can come in and drop that in, okay? And you could duplicate these and extend them out to make your pathway wherever you want to go. I believe you can even, yeah, we can scatter it using populate. We can put this into the populate paintbrush, and I'll make my diameter smaller here. And then anywhere I paint, I'm going to create that path of material. Okay. I'll just use Control Z to go back a couple steps. So you can see there's lots of different things in the Megascans. There's parts of buildings. If you want to build out some rooms or a building itself, you can go to wall. You can see lots of different wall elements here. I'm going to download one of these and then drag it into my scene. And if I rotate around this, let's move my camera over to this side. There you can see the outside face of it. To build out a wall with this, what I would do is take my move tool, and I can start to copy this. So I'll do Control C, Control V. It'll ask you, do you want to make a copy or a new instance? Since it's the same model, I'm just going to do instance, and then I'll grab it from the green handle here and move it to the side. Okay. If I want to build a 90-degree wall with this, I could take the blue rotation and rotate this 90 degrees. It'll go off in little 5-degree increments, and you can see how you could quickly start to build a house using this. Okay. And that's pretty much all you need to know to get started. You can start to bring in different assets. There's a ton of assets to explore in these Megascan scan categories, but we'll go deeper into this as the trimester goes on, and we'll learn how you can dig things like lakes and rivers and add all kinds of other vehicles and actors to your scene. Okay, have fun, get started.